Welcome to another edition of the Sports Web, live from the Tan Talk Sports Studios. I'm your host, Peter Blake, and redemption. I'm going to say it. Chandler Catanzaro with a 59-yard field goal to win the game in overtime, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the win against the Cleveland Browns, 26-23. Thanks a lot for joining me here. Live from the Tan Talk Sports Studios, live on Bucs Report. I'm your host, Peter Blake, the host of the only FM sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area on Saturday afternoons. And what can you say after the missed 40-yard field goal to send where the Bucs can actually win the game, and he misses it? Who would have ever thought that Catanzaro is going to get an opportunity to kick that 59-yard field goal? Yet he does it, and this is why we watch sports. This is why you watch the games. Overall, I thought that the defense played well. I thought the offense put them in situations where you can't turn over the ball, and you turn the ball over 3 times. Fumble by Cameron Brate. They were lucky to get that fumble called back because it looked like Adam Humphries fumbled the ball, and Jameis Winston had not only an interception, at the beginning of the game, throwing in double coverage, but also in overtime, which could have cost him the game. So I'm going to take your messages and your questions at this point. We're a little bit rushed today because after this, I actually have to produce a show. Didn't get a chance to see the kick, but got a chance to get into my car, rush all the way over here so I could work. And I got a chance to listen to Gene Deckerhoff, who I always tell him when I'm walking around in the press box that I met him when I was 10 years old. He signed my Bucs shirt. So that's always a cool story. But the great Gene Deckerhoff calling that, and shades of Matt Bryant in 2006, where Matt Bryant kicks a 62-yard field goal. Of course, he kicked a 57-yard field goal to beat this team, but Chandler Catanzaro, a 59-yard field goal to win the game as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win 26-23. 365 yards for Jameis Winston. Of course, 2 interceptions. Also a strip sack by Myles Garrett. We talked about this matchup. Myles Garrett being one-on-one with Donovan Smith is not a good matchup. I thought the offensive line was under siege all day long. Not only Myles Garrett, but Emmanuel Ogba on the other side. Cleveland's got a good defense. They played their hearts out. I thought the defense played well. They were improved. You didn't see a lot of deep passes. There were some plays in this game that you'd like to have back, but once again, being without McCoy, being without Vinny Curry coming into the game, and then losing Quan Alexander. Now, I thought Alexander played one of his best games. He was in coverage, came up, made some really good sticks. But in saying that, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, it looks like Quan Alexander could have a torn ACL. And then also there was a knee injury to Jack Cichy in the game. That's your backup. So right now the Buccaneers are going to run thin. Hopefully Kendall Beckwith comes back in the fold. What else did I see? William Golston, who was one of those players that had to come in for Vinny Curry today, had 2 sacks. He played well. He also played well when they put him inside. Golston's been known to do this. I saw Vita Vea today. I thought Vea was pretty impressive with some of the pass rush. So overall, I thought the defense played better, and I thought the defense gave the Bucs a chance to win. And when you have an opportunity to score on 4th down from the goal line and your defense gets the offense the ball back, you've got to love that. You've got to love that opportunity, and the Buccaneers definitely gave the offense the opportunity. The crucial thing was when you turn over the ball, and we've seen this in the Eagles game, right, guys? We saw it a couple weeks ago where you have the Eagles dead to right, 27-6, and you let the Eagles get back in the game because you have a turnover by Mike Evans. You have a crucial 3rd down by O.J. Howard. Howard has to catch the ball. He has to catch the ball on 3rd down in order to convert that 1st down. So let's go ahead, go out to Bucs Report now. Again, if you don't know what you're watching a brief edition of the Sports Web post-game show live from the Tan Talk Sports Studios. I'm your host, Peter Blake, host of the evolution of sports talk radio, the Sports Web. As it has been a unbelievable day. Who would have thought Chandler Canton 0 with a 59-yard field goal to win the game in overtime after missing an extra point and after missing a 40-yard field goal, which would have won them the game in regulation. So let's go out to Bucs Report here. Let's read some questions and some responses, and we'll go from there. JPP was a stud today. He was, absolutely, as he's always been all year long. Good pressure. That's another player that I didn't mention. Former Cleveland Brown, Carl Nassib, not only with pass rushing ability and getting after the quarterback, because I also think he had a couple of sacks today, but covering a running back. In fact, I was with Leo Haggerty in the press box, and I leaned over and I said, I think he actually covered that running back better than Quan Alexander did. And that's a defensive end, ladies and gentlemen, that's covering Nick Chubb. So pretty good job today by a former Cleveland Brown who, look, he doesn't have all the athleticism that you want in the world. What he has is a great motor. What he has is a want to. You need more players like Carl Nassib on this team. With that being said, let's see. Somebody said we're a 500 team at best. We may very well may be a 500 team at best at this point. You have to clean up some of these mistakes. You can't turn over the ball. You can't put your defense in these type of situations. I thought they held Baker Mayfield under control for the first 3 quarters. I believe he only had over 100 yards, and then the fourth quarter happened. You turn over the ball, you give yourself short field, and everything goes crazy. So, and 2.5 games, Winston's doubled all of Fitz's negative stats. Fumbles, interceptions, almost cost us the game 3 times. Fitzmagic over Winston. Look, let me be clear, and let me say this one more time. Jameis Winston going forward is going to be your quarterback. I get it. Fitzpatrick played well, but he also had his interceptions. Jameis Winston, I think, is always going to be a quarterback that's going to commit these turnovers. That's the one thing that we have to say. You have to cut down on those turnovers and those mistakes. You have to cut down on it. But with that being said, he still won the game. So he's definitely going to cut down on the interceptions. Had 365 yards today. But he's definitely got to be better. I agree. Fitzpatrick is not your quarterback. Let's be real. No playoffs again. I'm not ready to say that. I mean, I'm not ready to say you're not, ask the Pittsburgh Steelers if they want to win in overtime. Ask the Baltimore Ravens if they want to win. Cleveland played well today. They get paid too, guys. They really do. But again, this was a team that's going to come in here and, they're going to give you everything you got. Dude put a red shirt on. I'm out being professional. I got to look the part. I got my shirt and tie on. I had my green shirt tie on today because it was money. And Chandler Canton 0 was money at the end of overtime with a 59-yard field goal. So there you go. What else? Let's see. Mariota, not the future for the Titans. He fumbles more than Winston. The fumble for Winston, it's not all his fault. It's on the offensive line. The offensive line has to block better. I get that. They definitely have to block better. But you also have to not take those sacks. You can't take those critical sacks. Goes back to the last drive where you take 2 straight sacks. But Winston comes back. He completes the pass to Deshaun Jackson to put you in position to win the game. So he's got a lot to work on. He still has a lot to work on at this point. Okay, I'm not going to read that. All right, Daniel, thanks a lot. LA Dodgers sweep Red Sox. I don't know why we're talking about baseball. Winston, the next Peyton Manning. I don't know. Somebody saying I cannot wear red. You're exactly right. I can't. It doesn't matter what color. What are we talking about colors for? Fans out there were talking about what Quan Alexander was wearing over the weekend. I mean, let's worry about football. Let's talk about football. Let's not talk about what I'm wearing at this point. But I would say most likely my green shirt probably looks better with my tie than anything you can wear at this point. So just saying, and you're watching me. So if you don't know what you're watching at this point, you're watching the post-game edition of the Sports Web live from the Tan Talk Sports Studios. I'm your host, Peter Blake. We got a little bit of time here because we got another show. In fact, I have to produce a show at 6:06. So right now we're doing a quick post-game show. I will tell you this. If I get 3,000 views, I will come on again. We will talk more Bucs. because this is a little bit quicker than I want to be at this point. All right, let's see. Yeah, I love handling trolls. Trolls, I love to handle them. Most trolls should actually be under the bridge at this point. Aside from that, pass interference. Let's see. No quarterback can be perfect. He put us in position to win. Exactly. He put us in position to win. That's the point. People are saying no playoffs. Let's let the season play out. Did they have things to work on? Yes. The running game wasn't great again today, but you know what? Wasn't it nice to see Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones get into the end zone? Absolutely. Wasn't it nice to see Ronald Jones get some touches in this game? Absolutely. Wasn't it nice to see no off coverage from this defense today? Absolutely. Wasn't it nice to see a lot of positive things with your pass rush? Absolutely. So let's talk about that. Goodness gracious. Free t-shirt giveaway. Absolutely. Let's do it. Carlton Davis played great, I think. He did. He had a pass interference penalty in which somebody mentioned, but besides that, I thought this is what the Bucs envision him being. They envision him being a guy that is going to be able to be a man-to-man corner, that's going to be able to be physical, and he wasn't there last week because Ryan Smith was playing, so you could see the difference. I know, I get that. Do you think we might trade for a linebacker now that Quan is out for the season, or will we stick with David and Beckwith when he's scheduled to come back? Great question as always, Javon. Thanks a lot for joining Bucs Report here. Again, I'm your host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web. I think they're going to stick with what they have. It depends on the injury at this point, but just knowing what Jason Light and this organization does, they really don't go outside of the organization during the season, so I think they're going to stick with what they have. But remember here, Javon, Kendall Beckwith actually played middle linebacker last year when Alexander was hurt. It's a crucial blow for this defense because he had a very good game today. Let's see. NFC South wide division, 9-7, 8-8. Mitchell says this team didn't play well, not just Jameis. People love to hate the man. I agree with you. It is a team. It could have been a team loss, but it was a team win. But overall, your special teams, they get a critical punt return to put Baker Mayfield in position to have that touchdown to Landry, and then Eclair, the tight end, actually causes a fumble where the Bucs are about to punt the ball back, and it gives your offense. So, overall, there's some good things again, and once again, there's some bad things, but you get the win. A win is a win, and I don't care if the Cleveland Browns are not that good, because they're not that good. But you know what? They went out there today, and they played their asses off. So let's just give it to him. How is he great quarterback who can't score in the fourth to seal the deal? Well, they get paid, Taylor, also to play defense, and it's not just on the quarterback, it's on your offensive line. You actually have to block for him in order for him to have time to throw the ball. So, it has to stop being all on the quarterback at this point. It's all a team win you have to have guys like O.J. Howard. You have to have guys like Mike Evans catch passes when they need to, and they didn't do that today, especially O.J. Howard on that critical third down. You do that, you convert that third down, then most likely that drive continues on. I thought the offense played pretty well today. What was your reaction when the kicker won the game? Also, how do you truly feel about the defense playing with Duffner? D-Twan, it's a great question. I thought the defense was improved today. I didn't see a lot of breakdowns. I saw more pressure, more aggressiveness. We'll see. We'll see what they do against Cincinnati next week, but I thought they played well versus the Cleveland Browns in some instances in the game. And what was my reaction when they won the game? I could not believe it. I could not believe the Matt Bryant field goal in 2006 versus the Eagles for 62 yards. And I could not believe that Chandler Catanzaro, who missed an extra point, who missed a 40-yard field goal, made a 59-yard field goal to win the game. But he did it, and it was nice to be in the car driving here to do this post show for you guys on Bucs Report from the Tan Talk Sports Studios. Thanks a lot for tuning in. All right. O-line makes my blood pressure high. Absolutely think that definitely does a lot of people at this point. They've been very inconsistent some points. Caleb Benenoch didn't play well. He had a couple penalties in this game. You had, once again, Donovan Smith getting beat by Myles Garrett. But to me, that's a game plan issue. If you're having Donovan Smith on an island versus Myles Garrett, you're wrong. You have to chip him with a running back or a tight end at this point. Love seeing you put your football knowledge into people's teeth. Hey, look, I love to do this. I love to talk sports with you guys. I do my radio show. This is my dream to do TV, and it doesn't matter what it is. If I have to do it on the field, if I have to do it in a studio, if I have to do it in a phone booth, I'm definitely going to do it because it's what I love to do, especially with you guys on Bucs Report. Let's see. Please share the show. Absolutely. From here, we got about 4 more minutes. We'll take some more questions, but at this point, they get a win. And I think it wasn't the prettiest win because you turn over the ball multiple times, and Jameis Winston throws an interception in overtime, and you have a field goal kicker that maybe not as consistent, but at the end of the day, this is the NFL, which means not for long if you can't beat a team when you need to beat them. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do it. They beat the Cleveland Browns 26-23. Live here from the Tan Talk Sports Studios. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on Bucs Report, the Sports Web, on Saturday afternoons from 3 to 6 on WTAN 106.1 FM and 1340 AM. We call it the evolution of sports talk radio. We give you your own walk-up music. We'll let you call in twice, and we don't hang up on you like those other sports talk shows do. So, guys, I got to produce the show. But if we get over 3,000 views for this show right now, I promise you we'll come back tonight after them. All right? So that's been it. That's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We'll see you later.